and on the outside the South Australian stayer Galilee rapidly setting sail after them. Look at Galilee go. Galilee had gone to the front, halfway down the straight, holding Light Fingers Duo and a Venium Bay, and it's all Galilee. Galilee a big winner over Light
At the 1964 yearling sales in New Zealand, Bart Cummings purchased a pigeon-toed yearling by 𝚝𝚑𝚎 named Galilee. That yearling went on to take his place among the greats of racing. He stands alone as the only horse to have won the Triple Crown for stayers, the Caulfield, Melbourne and Sydney Cups.
We'd like to have this quality horse today, but those sort of horses only come in every 25 years or 50 years, in my opinion, and he was certainly something outstanding as a stayer, and he's won a lot of races over the mile and mile and a quarter, but from a mile and a quarter on, he was, as I said previously, the best we've ever had.
Galilee was the classic example of the modern fast stayer. From 36 starts, he won 18 races. John Miller was in the saddle for 14 of those wins.
I think Bart expected him to measure up when he bought him. He was a magnificent horse, great temperament, you know, and he was a beautiful animal. A mile and a half was Galilee's go. He'd have won anywhere in the world against the best class of horse over a mile and a half onwards.
Galilee and Miller began their Cups rampage in the spring of '66. A week prior to the Caulfield Cup, Galilee won the Toorak Handicap, but the opposition in the Cup was tough.
Because Tobin Bronze was all the rage, and he was hot favourite, but, you know, I just eased him out half a mile from home, stay out of trouble, give him a bit of rain, and away he went. He won easily, and he probably could have won by a bit more. And it was just a magnificent performance.
Former Perth jockey Johnny Miller gains his biggest win riding Galilee to take out the Caulfield Cup. Tobin Bronze has started a hot favourite for the Caulfield Cup, but in a roughhouse race, punters lose more than $1 million when Tobin Bronze, 11-8, finishes 6th. Galilee wins from Gala Crest with 𝚑𝚑𝚎 on 3rd, all at 14-1.
His Cup win heralded the rise of a new champion. Galilee's winning time was the fastest recorded since the mighty Toorak. Following the Cup, Miller was suspended for 11 days. But he returned to ride Galilee in the McKinnon Stakes. Again, his riding tactics were questioned.
I think one of the newspaper writers caused that. Once again, Tobin Bronze was trained to run a mile and a quarter or so. Galilee was trained to run 2 miles. He was in a mile and a quarter race, and he came from the back, and the other horses just out-sprinted him, you know. And on the day, they said I rode him very cold, but I don't think I rode him any different than what I did in the Cup.
I don't know what mental lapse Johnny Miller had at the time, but he certainly was capable of winning the race, in my opinion, and the way he won the Cup was quite impressive.
It was only after a prolonged steward's inquiry that Miller was cleared to ride Galilee in the Melbourne Cup.
No pressure on me. I slept for most of the day up until Cup time.
3 furlongs out, and Terrific still the leader, tackled now by Duo, and then a gap the Light Fingers, they're followed by a Venium, but well in the straight end, Terrific is gone, where Duo momentarily had gone to the lead, tackled now by Light Fingers, then a Venium, forcing a passage on the rail, and on the outside the South Australian stayer Galilee, rapidly setting sail after them. Look at Galilee go. Galilee had gone to the front, halfway down the straight, holding Light Fingers Duo, and a Venium Bay, and it's all Galilee. Galilee a big winner over Light Fingers, 3rd home Duo.
The acceleration Galilee produced at the end of the 2-mile journey is the hallmark of a champion. His Cup win is rated by many as the best seen in the last 40 years.
He's the best 2-miler I've trained, and he had enormous finishing burst. He was just a champion.
Galilee returned in the autumn to win 3 weight-for-age races before heading to Sydney for the final leg of the Triple Crown.
Going up the rise, George Moore and Prince Granny made a challenge, and I thought it was a bit strange, George riding a horse up the rise in a 2-mile race, but he had to do that to get to me. And then when we topped the rise, we were head and head, and I just gave Galilee a bit of rain, and he straight away to win by about 6 lengths.
But at the peak of the champ's career, he broke down.
Veterinary surgeons at the time were under the opinion that the splint bone was fractured, and they removed the splint bone, but the horse was never the same after.
After an absence of 18 months, Galilee returned to racing.
It was like a Rolls Royce in his early days, but that fluent action was impaired. He was never quite as free, or had a length of stride prior to the injuries. So he won a few races, but it's never quite the old Galilee that we knew.
There's no telling what he would have done. I've ridden in a few Melbourne Cups, and I've seen a few, and I've seen some of the horses since Galilee, and I've never ridden in a cup or seen one that he wouldn't have won quite easily at his best. By far, he was the best. He had a great heart, he had a great temperament, and great physique. He was just an out-and-out champion.
He was the best stayer we had in my care, and he was just too good for most of the horses over a mile and a half at that time. I don't think I've seen one as good as him since.
Although fate denied the champion further success, his electrifying performances as a 4-year-old were those of a champion that won't be forgotten.